Hello guys, Awakening Animations here and welcome back to another part of creating a stylized axe in Blender. I believe this is part 6, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's one of those things. Um, so in this part, we finally moving to sculpting the details. Finally, we don't really need these anymore, but we might as well keep them just in case. And yeah, let's move right on to sculpting here. And yeah, so we want to just have that part alone, but our reference is not coming along. So if we come here and select our reference as well, and then press slash forward slash to go into local view, we've got them both here. I'll put screencast keys on quickly for you guys. There we go, it's in this corner. Might not be the best corner, so let me change it quickly because there's some things that block it sometimes. There's a way to change this crap. I think if I go into preferences, add-ons, oh, I'm sorry for always wasting your guys' time. Screen, it's like it's not even called that, so if I go to user, yeah, shortcut, whatever. Okay, so it doesn't seem like I can change anything of it. Yeah, just remove it. That sucks. Anyway, it's in that corner there. Let's get started. So we're gonna sculpt here. There's a lot that needs to be fixed and changed here with the sculpting tools. Um, let's get bouncing. Okay, so let's go into sculpt mode here. Boom. Okay, so first things first. Now we don't want our mirror modifier anymore, so object mode, apply the mirror modifier, make sure everything looks fine, looks good. We don't want this crap anymore, so now we can go and add this multi-resolution, subdivide one more time maybe. So we've got 2 subdivisions there. We'll see how that works. We'll most likely go up to 3. And yeah, so what I'm going to do here first is use our inflate brush and just go and add some thickness here. The first thing I need to do is put front faces only on, and I'll show you why. We've got some really thin areas here, like this part here, and if this was off, and I'll come here with my inflate brush, so and I just drag along this part here to bring it out, you'll see it's affecting the other side as well. So let's add some more geometry here to make this clearer. So it's sure we're going to need more anyway. So up to 4 maybe. And if I bring my brush strength up and pull this out again here, you'll see on the other side it does the exact same thing, and we might not want that. So if you do want that, that's fine, but in this case I do not want that. So now we've got that up, I've got my tablet set up. You can do this without a tablet. I wouldn't recommend it, it's much harder, um, but you definitely can achieve the same results with this. So um, or similar results, actually shouldn't say same results. So I see here that we didn't capture this part, and I kind of like it, so um, we're gonna have to do that quickly. You don't need to do this. um, I'm doing it just because it looks cool. So you really don't have to do this step. I kind of messed up by forgetting about it, but anyway, it happens. These things happen. This part here, and we've got the symmetry crap that we removed. Wait, maybe instead of going and trying to fix that up, yeah. So here we got our multi-res back. It's gonna do all the sculpting steps quickly that I showed you guys. Hopefully I can go back far enough. And there we go, great. Remove this subdivision, and I mean, let's not remove it. And now we can go and just do this part quickly here. So we're gonna extrude this, bring it up with G here, somewhat like that. I'm gonna scale it in. And in this case, we might want to see our blade. So let's go out of local view here so we can just look at this blade here. Get this working from the start, so we can scale this on its local Y here to give it some depth, so long, and then bring it kind of in here. Okay, and then we want a piece somewhat like that, and I'm going to edit this as well, so bring that in and bring this edge out like that. And so for this part we've still got some extruding and stuff to do up to like here, and bring that in somewhat. Let's rotate it like that way, and let's just bring this thing in here. Come on, go and touch, and we want to scale it out this way, this part. Don't know why you're doing that. You shouldn't have to do that. Ah, okay, I know why we've got that. Once again, this faces needs to be deleted here when we bring things into each other, and there we go, we've got that. We just need to kind of use this proportional editing and bring it to touch that area a bit better. Okay, a bit more, somewhat like that, and stop it. This piece here, we want to do this hugging effect once again. Okay, need to have this hugging effect. And finally, sorry guys, I really thought we're gonna go straight into sculpting here, but yeah, this is life. So here we've got two faces once again. Gonna grab that one, and then edge selection, control E, bridge edge loops. Gonna drop one loop cut in there, and voila, that shape kind of matches well, so we'll just leave it like that. Okay, finally, yeah, we've got some things happening. I think I've got an idea of what it is. Some vertex here, not completely in the right angle. Okay, so that kind of fixed that part. And there we go. So this is where I stop. Let's save this. We apply the mirror modifier. Come on, save your crap. Apply mirror modifier, remove the subdivision surface, add a multi-resolution, subdivide, subdivide, subdivide. Great. Now we're back to where we wanted to be. We select this, we select our ref and local mode. And then we deselect the ref here so we can't touch it. And let's get sculpting. So yeah, cool. So the first step I'm gonna do with the sculpting here um, is we'll go and wireframe kind of here, and we can see that on many of these parts there's kind of edges and flat spots, and then all these pieces here, unlike what we have, this flat spot, they're more like a tendon or a vine kind of thing. So we're going to try and recreate this kind of effect first. I'm just going to use a basic inflate brush. It works really nice with this. We can always play with the curve to get some sharper parts or less sharper parts. So we want it kind of sharp. What we can do is just lay out a stroke here and kind of see what we get. So um, kind of a small brush. Let's start here. Let's bring this part out. So I'm not worried how this line is going to look. I'm just bulking that up from this angle like this. Okay, make sure front face is only ish was off. Hopefully we didn't have a big effect there on that. Shouldn't have. And now seems like we're fine. In fact, it doesn't even look like much happened. Here we can see the effect we have. We'll come later on with an inflate brush and kind of sorry, inflate brush, pinch brush and crease brush, and we'll define these parts better. Oop, I accidentally hit grab, so let's go back to inflate, bring this kind of like that, so it joins with that corner there, and then we've got a long piece coming through here. So maybe we can add steady stroke here as well. Could work. Smooth stroke. Let's see how. So that's not too bad. For a steady stroke, maybe we're gonna make the strength more here. Just on this one, and I've got my drawing tablet. So I've got sensor, sensitivity, pressure, and all of that. So I manage the size of my brush and the pressure or the strength of the brush with how I press down. So if I press really hard, let's remove this smooth stroke quickly just to demonstrate this. If I go on like really full, if I press soft on my brush, I'm still getting kind of small fall off like we have here, or sensitivity, intensity. But if I press really hard, I get much more strength. Doesn't seem like my radius is too much affected, but it's more related to the brush size and then how hard I press. Okay, so we want this kind of curve here. That's fine. We can do something like that. Intensity is really high up again, so let's bring that lower. So it's coming from here. It's going straight there again. And we can as well, where we have some places like this, you can push in next to this curve you drew or the stroke you drew, and yeah, it's as well just gonna help to pop it out, especially in these kind of dainty areas here. We can push that in and kind of have a better effect with that. Bump this part up a bit here as well. Gonna get this tendon shape here that we want with this as well. And make our brush size smaller and come over that again, so we get this tendon feel on it, and we want it around this whole section like that. So pulling it there, and then I'm gonna go in the opposite and kind of just push in a little bit on the sides like that, just to add a bit more to that part we just pulled out, or remove from that part we just pulled out. Okay, so back into this mode. This part here is looking a bit thick, so you can come in, or a bit heavy kind of, so we can come in with the smooth brush, and I'm just kind of lightly tapping on it. I don't want to remove too much, and maybe towards the edges you want less, and then we can just go back in and push away or push in with the draw brush. Here once again we've got a kind of diamond section here, somewhat like that, and it's gonna connect these two pieces somewhat like that, push it in again, and then it's gonna go kind of creates a weird geometrical, I don't know, five-sided shape, 1 2 3 4 5 in a way, here, 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 and here. So yeah, we can bring it this way, try and make those corners quite visible, somewhat like that. Okay, smaller brush stroke, and we're gonna come up to a point up in here, somewhere like that. So push that in. We lost 1 point here, but that's fine. We'll come in later and refine this shapes. See how it's kind of connecting like that, going there. Make that brush size bigger. Create this kind of tendon here, and this one, it's gonna kind of connect here. It's gonna become bigger, this section here, kind of tendon like that. Okay, small brush again, connect it there somewhat, and just maybe start to take it off that way. Okay, bring it all the way around here. I really hope we have symmetry on here. Oh shit. uh, that's quite sad, isn't it? There has to be a way to mirror this now. So there's a few ways we can try to fix this. If we were using dynamic topology, we would have had symmetry here. It doesn't look like we can do it in the multi-resolution, but that's fine. Let's see, if we go into edit mode here, right, and we select everything, I'm really scared about this. But anyway, let's give it a go. Let's save quickly beforehand. So Control S. I'm really sorry about this again. Anyway, so somehow I should be able to write stuff. My spacebar is doing animation player. How do I search? Or just go here, mesh, mirror on X, global X. Okay, so that's not working. Let's do something here. I'm gonna go into the mirror modifier and disable it for now. Okay. Um, then we're gonna go into side view here, and we're gonna delete everything on the one side. So somewhat there. Fix vertices. Got one there extra. We got some here extra. Got some extra here. Here. Okay, so once we got all that gone, we should be a-okay. If we just drop in the mirror on the Y, yeah, that looks perfect. And now, I don't think we can apply this. Nah. Okay. So we're gonna keep the mirror on. Um, that way, in okay, so that way in the sculpt mode here, we're only gonna have one side visible. That's fine. Once we go back, it should look normal again. So um, let's select again this reference and then go so select this and the reference and isolation mode, and let's go into sculpt mode again. So now we're good again. We've got our inflate here, that's working again, and all this is up and going. So let's go back in here. We'll inflate this part somewhat like that. Okay, it's fine. We brought it a bit too far, but that's fine. Just do that. And then where it's gonna be joining in here. Okay, problems here. I've got fucking symmetry on. Okay. Kind of bring these pieces in like that. Okay. Connect it while I'm there. Bring it out this way. Bring this one out here. Kind of push it in on certain places. that tendon feel. Okay, so just pushing in some spots here again. So we've got this kind of look at the moment. Here we're going to have a big surface change, so we might as well put that in there, kind of show a form of connection there, and it's going to come quite biggish up to here. Okay, this part as well, it's going to go strong through here, come kind of connect in there. In here we're going to push the opposites once again, push the opposites, and it's going to come all the way through like that. Okay, and here we're just going to create our kind of tendon effects once again. Front faces are off, perfect. Create our tendons here. Connect it and all of that nice stuff with all the other sides. And once I pull back here from this and kind of inspect it again, what you will start to see is that it's starting to look more organic and like it's kind of alive while wrapping around this part, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, okay, we want this to look like it's kind of living in some ways. Okay, and we can keep doing things like that, kind of join all these tendons together. Here we've got another surface kind of spots coming up and going that way somewhat. Like here. And as you can see, we kind of get this kind of webbing shape naturally here when we do this. And if you look on the reference, it's kind of what we have as well. So um, yeah, just doing this slowly and blocking in these shapes is really going to help later on when we try and really crease these things and make it look more sharper and things like that. So doing this like this first really helps to get the base shape kind of right. Okay, Kitty, I'm coming. Ah, sorry, cat wanted to leave the room. Anyway, we keep working on these tendons. Very nice and easy, if you could say that. And here we need a lot of depth to make this part look like it's a tendon itself as well. Okay, something like that. Bring it down here. And once again, we're gonna do this pushing thing as well, just to get that tendon shape looking more like a tendon. Same here. And we go back from the front view and just kind of have a look at some of these parts. Still aren't resembling what we'd like them to. And maybe instead of wasting too much time here, let's just fly through quickly and create all these tendons, make it look right. Okay, fly through it. Let's get some tendon here, somewhat going this way, and kind of going there as well, and both joining up to that part, and then we can push that in and that in, accentuate this connection here. Okay, so I think for the final part it's to finish it off on these parts that are going to connect, somewhat like that. And this part here we definitely need to add some depth to it as well, give it this kind of tendency feel as well. Somewhat like that. Okay, can maybe give it another tendon coming this way and push that in, kind of something like that. Okay, cool. Tendons are starting to really look like tendons here, just as we planned. Yeah, so I'm starting to like this shape we got here. Looks good to me. So it's not perfect. Very far from being a perfectionist. I don't like wasting too much time on details. I rather prefer the creation process, because I feel maybe that I learn more, and it's just my personality. I guess we all have different ways of seeing things and working with things, and yeah, that's kind of me. So let's have a look at how this looks in object mode quickly with our mirror modifier applied. Um, I'm not liking that section here at all. It's ugly. It's ugly, ugly. Okay. So actually, I'm going to take these two and bring that back somewhat. Take these two and bring that in as well. Should have a better shape there. Okay, so we've got that on both sides. If we bring the blade and stuff, you'll see it should look nicer. Doesn't look too bad for me like that. It's gonna look really nice when it's textured. We got some sharp parts on this now, and we're just gonna go down and do more or less the same down here. And in the next tutorial we'll sculpt the blade. and then finally start to finalize things for texturing. So let's try and do this as fast as possible. Like I said, I'm not the best artist in the world. I still need to think a lot as I go. Um, but you know, that doesn't stop you from trying to help people. So I try and teach people the new things I learn as I go along. You know, um, because it took me such a long time to understand some of these things that, yeah, I know the frustration too well of wanting to make things, but everything you work on just ends up being, you know, kind of train smash or problematic. Doesn't seem to work out too well. So I'm just kind of adding a ball shape here to this, the inflate brush once again. And yeah, we might not need to retopologize any of this, but you know, we'll we'll see how it ends up at the end. So um, I'm gonna go and add little bumpy shapes around here like that, okay, before I go through and kind of crease this area here again, which I'm just gonna use the inflate brush at first. Once again, we've still got our sharp curve in here. Perfect. And let's start it from the front here and kind of pull that and not make it straight. You know, we want to give it some angle, some different thickness to certain parts, and just bring this around. Okay, kind of clearly that it's an edge defined here. Okay, once again, we can always push in a little bit. And we can do the same kind of here. Give it some form of edge there. And kind of connect it like it's going up into there, somewhat like that. Okay, and find that better with the crease and do the same here. We can kind of bring this edge here and let it wrap and connect here to this one. I like that kind of, and the same here, got a kind of connection as well. That, and finally we're going to start to use some kind of strokes down here. So we might need the smooth stroke for this, just to have steady ones. It's a bit too high for me. I'm going to try 30 and see what that does for me, and then I'm going to start to pull this down here. So this is a very clear example of where geometry is starting to become a problem. We don't have enough of it, but it's okay for now. I'll show you why. And we're just gonna kind of bring this down all the way. Okay, something like that. I want to make sure the transition there is fine, and we'll come in and kind of control push down from an angle like this. Okay, same this side, kind of control push that. And we're gonna want the same kind of effect running down the spine, yeah. Okay, coming past there and maybe down like this somewhat. Once again, we come and edit it here. make sure that connection part is there. Okay, we want that connection part, and then we're gonna go through and push in on the sides of that as well. Okay. Okay, so since we've got that on this part, we can use the pinch brush quickly. And especially this one here, it seems to be really thick. I didn't mean for it to be that thick. So pinch front faces again only. Pinch the stuff down like that. Yeah. Create this crease we're looking for here. Okay, somewhat like that. And we can do the same here to this part. Pinch that and pinch that. That part might be slightly better to pinch when we applied everything. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to apply things, because I know we can't apply mirror modifiers when you've got a multi-resolution modifier, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. I've got some ideas in mind, so and yeah, so we're just pinching up some of these shapes nice and easy here. Okay, down here there's once again some interesting things happening. I'm going to use the inflate brush again, and it's going to be similar to what we did up there in a way. I want the smooth stroke off. And yeah, so we're on 40 minutes again, so I'm going to finish this this section here, show you guys what I'm going to be doing, and then we'll end this video and come back on the next part. So let's add this kind of tendency feel look here as well to this section. It's kind of coming down here as well into there, and kind of here like that. And here we've got this kind of edge, so I'm going to bring it quite small and define this edge here. It's going to go up and around like that. A bit thicker here at the end, a bit thinner coming in to there. Okay, so we got that edge, and from that edge we're going to have something coming down like that. And yeah, we just fix its connection points. Okay, so we got something like that finally there. And here we're gonna have a kind of twirly effect, so push that out, connect that, push that out, and bring this into there, and here we've got our big crease into the object. Okay, and once again it's just very basic here, creating the tendon. And do the same thing down here. And we've got another crease area kind of here. So I don't know if we're gonna be doing that section there. We'll see, but let's get this crease up in here going somewhat like that. And we're gonna push it as well. We want to connect these and this. Then maybe with the pinch here we can bring that tighter. Okay, the same here, pinch that, pinch that, pinch all of these and these ones. And there we go. So what we can do is as well just subdivide this one more time, because we need it to get some clean geometry, and then we can go into object mode and have a look at this. So need clipping on. Okay, we'll fix that later on. Problem we're having here. Okay. Okay, so it's not a problem of internal faces. We'll come and fix that up. But for now, if we look at this, remove the reference here, remove the overlays, we're really starting to get something that looks game material. It's got some nice details all over with what we just added. So in the next tutorial we're going to sculpt the blade here, and yeah, then we kind of done, and we can edit maybe the centerpiece here. I think this part in here, this part, um, you know, give it some more bubbles and stuff to blend in with this better, and then we're kind of done, I guess. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part where we sculpt the blade and maybe start to prepare things for baking and texturing.